All right, everybody, buckle up, because we are diving headfirst this time into one of the most insane moments in wrestling history. Hulk Hogan, Hulkamania, the man in red and yellow, turning heel at Bash at the Beach 96.
It's wild to think about even now.
You all know it. The internet still explodes with this one. Did anyone actually see this coming? You've given us the goods articles, Reddit threads, and we're going to break it all down. Was Hogan's turn something you could see from a mile away, or did it come out of nowhere?
Total curveball for most people.
And speaking of curveballs, we got to start with the fans. We got this Reddit thread, R squared circle, and let me tell you, it's a roller coaster of emotions in there.
Oh, yeah.
One fan, Dilly Obsolete, they say they were 10 years old, watching their hero become the villain. And like their whole world just stopped making sense.
I can imagine. For a lot of younger fans, Hogan was wrestling. Like the real deal.
Yeah.
Not a character him.
Absolutely. But then you've got these other fans chiming in. They were a little older, and they said they could feel things changing with Hogan. Even some boos starting to pop up at shows.
Not quite like Cena getting booed out of the building levels, but still.
Not even close. But still, a sign. And remember, this is pre-internet, pre-Twitter rumors. We're talking newsletters, early online forums. A totally different world.
Wild to think about now.
Right. A few even said they saw rumors on, get this, Prodigy.
Prodigy. Wow, that's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Right. But even they were like, no way they actually go through with it. Right.
Yeah, because looking back, there were definitely signs. Hogan hadn't been on WCW for a while. His character is feeling a little stale, especially with the whole outsider thing going on.
Hall and Nash just showing up out of nowhere,
Yeah.
saying they're going to dismantle WCW from the inside. Nobody had ever seen anything like it.
Exactly. And the fans ate it up. WCW, with Eric Bischoff running the show, they saw their shot. They knew they needed a game changer. But turning Hogan heel? Talk about a gamble.
High risk, high reward, right?
Huge risk.
I mean, this was Hulk Hogan. Hulkster, Mr. America, the guy telling you to say your prayers and eat your vitamins. What's the thought process turning that guy bad?
Right. And potentially alienating all those kids who looked up to him. But at the end of the day, Hogan's a businessman. And he knew how to work the system. He could feel that change in the air.
WCW was like the Wild West.
Yeah.
Anything could happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Hogan knew he had to adapt. He saw what Hall and Nash were doing. The NWO was the hottest thing going.
So how did Bischoff finally sell him on it?
You know, Kevin Sullivan, she was booking WCW at the time.
Right, right.
And he said it took a lot of convincing. One article I read even said Hogan stayed at Sullivan's place the night before Bash at the beach.
Whoa, imagine that pressure.
No kidding, right? The whole future of WCW in your hands. But, you know, it makes you think, all those other WCW wrestlers, what did they know?
Oh, that's a great point. Were any of them in on it?
Hogan himself has said that almost no one knew.
You're kidding. Hall and Nash, they had no clue who they were meeting in that ring.
Apparently not.
Talk about commitment. No wonder that place went nuts. So we got Hogan maybe feeling a little unsure about his spot, WCW taking a huge chance, this whole air of mystery. But what about the fans at Bash at the Beach? Were there any hints something was up?
It was a different time, you know. No social media, no spoilers everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some rumors. A few wrestling journalists said they'd heard things, but...
Even they weren't buying it. Like trying to predict the weather, right?
Yeah.
You know a storm's coming, but who knows how bad it'll be.
And think about it. This is Hulk Hogan we're talking about. For him to just join up with these invaders
Right.
who want to tear everything down, I mean, come on.
Nobody saw it coming. I bet everyone in that arena, they remember exactly where they were at that moment. Hogan comes down, same music, same swagger. For a second, everyone thought, okay, he's here to save the day.
Right, total relief, and then bam, leg drop on Savage, and it's like someone hit rewind on the universe.
Even Bobby the Brain, on commentary, he's speechless. The guy who lived to hate on Hogan.
That's how you know it was huge.
And the silence in that arena, you can hear a pin drop. Then Hogan picks up the mic, and those two words, New World Order. And the place erupts.
Total mayhem. And it wasn't just the people there. It was like the entire wrestling world felt the shockwave. Suddenly anything was possible.
I was reading in one of these articles that Hogan leaning into being the bad guy. It was like he was rejecting everything he'd built his career on, calling out the fans, the industry, like he was breaking down the fourth wall or something.
Genius, right? Because it played right into what people were feeling. This, like, cynicism.
Yeah.
That maybe the old rules, they didn't apply anymore.
And by doing that, Hogan didn't just change WCW, he changed wrestling, period. Suddenly, it was cool to be the bad guy. Storylines got more intense, more real. Nobody knew what was real and what was a work anymore.
And you could argue that we're still feeling those aftershocks today, you know? Stone Cold, The Rock, even CM Punk, they all owe a little something to Hogan taking that leap.
So was Hogan's heel turn predictable? Maybe, if you were looking for the signs, but the way he did it and what it did to wrestling, no way. Pure genius. And on that note, that's our deep dive. We dug into the articles, we felt the fans' energy, we saw how a business decision turned into a wrestling revolution. Hogan's turn reminds us that sometimes it's the things you least expect that change the game forever.